Let's continue with the next step. So in the next step, once logged in, verify various management options for ESX host. That we have already done. Next is we need to change our ESX host date and time with our local server, because it is taking UTC time. So that is something, the time difference will be there. So through the ESX host web console, go to host and go to manage and then time and date. So we will go step by step. So I will go here, and here it is an option called host. Okay, so under the host there is an option called manage. So I will come back here, and there is an option called manage over here. Okay, under the manage there is an option called time and date, and under that time and date there is an option called edit NTP settings. Okay, so you can see over here time and date, edit NTP setting, and then we can manually configure the date and time, and we will set it to match our local host date and time. Okay, so I will come back here, and you can see over here it is currently 10:58 PM, that is 1st of June 2025. So I'm editing it, and you can see it is showing 10:28 AM, that is morning. So I will change it to 10:58 PM, right? And I will say save. That's it. Simple thing. Okay, and we will re-verify one more time. Edit NDP setting 10:58. Okay, so this step is completed. Let's go back to our next step. Now our ESXHOST01 installation and basic configuration is completed. Now we need to create ESXHOST02, and we need to repeat all those steps whatever we have done for ESXHOST01. So we need to repeat step number 47 to 64, and we need to create one more ESX host as ESXHOST02. So what I'm doing is I'm quickly going back to my step number 47, so that I will make sure that I'm not missing out any particular step, right? So this is the 47th step, right? So we need to now create one more VM, right, with the whatever the configuration and all. So although it is showing VM name is ESXHOST01, we will create it as ESXHOST02, because we have already done ESXHOST01, right? So let me go back here, and I will say file, new virtual machine, next. I will choose operating system later, this is fine. Next, then VMware ESX8, this is fine. Next, here I will give the name as ESXHOST02. Right, and then I will choose the appropriate storing location. So I will go back here, VMware ESXHOST02, right? Next, here again we have to specify the number of processors, 44, that's fine. Next, again here we need to specify RAM as 48 GB. If you remember, we have given the 48 GB for ESXHOST01. Same thing we have to give for the ESXHOST02, 48 GB. Next, remember my physical machine is having 128 GB, so that's why I can afford to have this 48 GB for these two ESX hosts. So depending upon your hardware capacity, you can choose how much RAM you need to give. Now the network connection, I will, as of now I will say do not use the network connection. And then this is the default para virtualize SCSI, this is fine. Then virtual disk type SCSI, fine. Create a new virtual disk, again same. and then 100 GB and store virtual disk as a single file, right? Next, now I need to store this particular VMDK file in an appropriate folder, ESXHOST02, right? Save. Next, and I will say customize hardware over here. First, I will change my ISO file to point out to the ESX hypervisor ISO. Okay, so VMware, and this is the ISO VMvisor. Okay, 8.0 update 3. I will say open over here, and now I will add one network adapter, finish, and I will choose as a VMnet 2 NAT. Okay, because this is a primary connectivity for us. And now I will say close, and this creation of ESXHOST02 is completed. Okay, now before hitting finish, let's verify whether we have done all the steps correctly. So our VM name is ESXHOST02, correct? This is fine. Don't get confused, we are repeating the steps. So currently it is showing ESXHOST01, but that was when we are creating the ESXHOST01, right? So the VM name will be ESXHOST02. Next is guest operating system, VMware ESXi8 that we have already selected. Storage location, our J drive, and then whatever particular folder, ESXHOST02 again. Then virtual processors plus cores 4.4, we have already done that. RAM 48 GB we have selected. Network adapter VMnet 2, that also we have selected, right? You can see over here network adapter VMnet 2, right? And then IO controller, para virtualized SCSI, disk type SCSI, HDD 100 GB single VMDK file, that's fine. Then CD DVD, ESXi hypervisor 8.0 update 3 ISO, right? And CPU will be virtualized Intel VTX EPT. So I will say finish over here, and now you can see just a minute, let me just go to the ESX host properties and processors virtualize Intel VT RVA. Okay, so this step we have completed. Let's move on to the next step. So we need to start and boot from the ESXi ISO. Remember, this is the second host we are installing, right? So it will boot from the ISO. It will take some time to boot, so I'm just pausing this video. Once the booting is completed, I'll come back to you with the next step. Alright, so booting of ESXHOST02 is completed. Let's go back to our PPT. So we have completed this step for ESXHOST02 installation and installation, and now we need to complete our ESXHOST02 installation same way as we did for the ESXHOST01. So we need to hit the enter. Again, we need to press the F11 to accept the EULA. Now it will scan our available devices. So this is already completed, scanning available devices, and now we need to press the enter to continue installing ESXi 8.0.3 on available virtual hard disk. So this is our 100 GB hard disk, it is showing. You can see 100 GB virtual hard disk. It's the same way we have already done for ESXHOST01. We are doing it for ESXHOST02. So I will continue. So again we have to press enter to continue with the US default keyboard layout. So enter. Next is we need to again specify the root password for our ESX host. So this is ESXHOST02, right? So I'm just entering the root password over here. Next is we need to press the F11 to begin our ESX 8.0.3 installation. So you can see over here the F11 to install. Okay, so I'm pressing F11 and now it will install my ESX Hypervisor 8.0.3. Now remember we have already installed ESXHOST01 same way. Now we are doing it for ESXHOST02. Okay, and now finally after the installation, so this particular step is already completed. Now finally after the installation we need to hit enter to reboot our system. So again I will hit enter. So it will reboot in a while. So let's wait for this boot to process. By the time it is booting, it's already completed. Okay, now next is, so this is already completed. So again it will show you the inappropriate IP configuration. So you can see over here 0000. So we need to again configure it. So we need to press F2 to enter into the system configuration menu. First we need to enter the root password. Okay, so here I'm just pressing F2. It will ask me for the root password. Again I'm entering it. Okay, and now I need to change my IP configuration, my DNS configuration and my host name, right? So first I need to enter the IP4 IP, right? But it is showing the IP of my ESX host 01 over here because we are repeating the steps. So don't get confused. I will be entering a different IP over here. So I'm first of all I'm going to my configure management network, enter, go to the IP4 and then I will choose set static IP and here I will give a IP of my ESX host 02 192.168 1.16. Okay, and subnet mask also you need to correct it, otherwise there will be a problem for your network connectivity. So 255 255 255 0. Okay, and then default gateway, our DCIP 192.168.1.100. Okay, so this will be our primary IP configuration. So I will hit enter over here. I will come back to my PPT. So IP we have given 1.16. So don't get confused because it's an ESXHOST02. Subnet mask we have already provided. Default gateway also we have provided. Next is we need to specify the DNS server IP. So I will go back here and I will go to the DNS configuration, enter, and then use the following DNS. Select that option. Primary DNS will be our Win 2022 DC 192.168.1.100, right? You don't want alternate DNS server. And then now host name we need to change it as ESX host02, correct? And now hit enter. So it will show us the DNS server IP and host name. Okay, come back here. Host name we have already changed to ESXHOST02. Okay, and then disable the IP version 6 option. So I will go back here. I will go back to IP6 and I will disable this. Okay, first option is disable. Disable this. Enter. Okay, fine. So we have done all the configuration changes over here. Let's go back here, and now we need to save all those changes first by pressing escape and then pressing Y. Okay, so I will click inside, escape, it will ask us to save, then Y, and then it will automatically restart itself. Okay, so let it restart. We'll continue with our next step. So this is already done, and now we need to note down the ESXHOST02's IP, because this step is relevant to ESXHOST01. So don't get confused. I'm again and again telling you we are repeating the steps for ESXHOST02. So now ESXHOST02 should show us the correct IP for itself as 1.16. So you can see over here ESXHOST02 and 192.168.1.16. So it is showing the correct IP and correct host name. Okay, so let's go back here. Now same way which we have done for the ESXHOST01, we need to access it through web browser for ESXHOST02. Okay, so through Windows 2022 DC we need to access our ESXHOST02 also. So I will go back to my DC system. I will close this. This is 1.7 means ESX host. Okay, it has been logged out because we have not done any activity. So I will close this, reopen a fresh session, and then I am typing 192.168.1.16. okay, now through IP also we can access, through hostname also we can access. It's up to you. And sorry, HTTPS. Okay, enter. It will ask us to go for this parameter accept. And here I'm entering the root, username and password. Just a minute. And now you can see we have logged in using ESXHOST02. Okay, so this way we have installed both our ESXHOST01 and ESXHOST02. Okay, in a sideline, let me just access 7 also. So this way I'm able to manage both the ESX host one by one through my web browser. Okay, ESX host 01 and ESX host 02. Now one more step is still remaining for this ESX host 02, if you remember. Okay, so we have already logged in using our root account credentials, right? Let's move on to the next step. So now for this ESX host 02 also, we have seen these management options and all. So we need to change our NTP timing to match with your local host, local timing, right? So time and date setting, edit NTP settings, manually configure date and time, and set it to match with your local host date and time, and save. So I'm coming back here. I will, under the host, I will go to manage. I will go to the time and date, and I will edit the NTP setting. And now I will change the timing as my local timing. So 11:22 PM. Okay, and I will say save. So this completes our basic configuration for our ESX host 02 also. Okay, so up to this point we have completed steps number 65. So our both ESX hosts are now installed and online with our basic configuration. In the next part we will go forward with the next steps like installing vCenter server and other stuff. Okay.